Alright, well usually I use eggs as a binder in this, but I don't have any eggs, so I'll just use a bit of mustard or something. Anyways, I'm going to make a couple meatballs. Now, let me warn you, these probably won't work out very well because I don't have an egg. But just remember, if you add an egg, it'll work out fine. Actually, it'll work, but two main things is I don't have an egg and I don't have a lot of ground beef. So these are going to be some small meatballs, but that's alright. You guys will get the idea just from what I do. So to this meat, I'm just going to add salt and pepper. Someone send him a chicken. Alright, so salt, pepper. I'm going to grab some other spices and just a mustard. So I've got Dijon mustard here. I'll put in a bit of sriracha. Okay, so obviously you guys don't have to add this much spice, if any spice at all, but I'm just using this for an example that you can do anything. Okay. He's going to make this so damn good. You are correct. And what's up, Fred Sauce? And Casper and everybody else. Alright, I gotta stop saying what's up to people. Please don't take offense when I don't say what's up because, I mean, it's hard to say. It's hard to say a hey to everyone. So, to this meat. So, to these meatballs, I'm gonna add just a little bit of Dijon mustard. So, just Dijon. That's good enough. Gonna add some sriracha. Alright, I'm gonna add some mustard seed. What's up, Bawk? Hey! Alright, so mustard seed. Just a little bit. And I'm not measuring because it doesn't matter. Just don't add a ton of spice. Some paprika. Some cinnamon. So just in case you guys are deaf or can't hear me or both, or I think I'm speaking English and I'm not. Cinnamon. Now we're going to add some chili powder. And these are going to be... Alright, so now some anise seeds. I sort of scrubbed off a little bit, but... Some chili flakes, or red pepper flakes, sorry, same thing. Just a few. And last thing is some cumin. So cumin. Just a little bit. Okay. So now I'm going to mix this with my hands. Oh, yeah, actually, wait. Okay, so now we're going to actually make the meatballs. Yeah. Alright, so I'm left-handed, so I gotta put it over here. So I'm just gonna mix this all around. So just mix it real thoroughly. So I wish I had an egg, but mustard will work. Hopefully. I've never tried it, but... Well, I have put mustard in all meatballs, but... So we got a lot of flavor in here. The sriracha, the Dijon, all the spices, which is 6 spices. And the salt and pepper. So this should be... This should have plenty of flavor to back up the... Oh, by the way, I'm just slamming it, and you don't need to do this any specific way. Alright, so there's our meatball that we'll be using for the spaghetti. So, just kidding. I am not going to make... Imagine making an enormous meatball. Alright, so I'm just going to make small meatballs. Notice the technique, which makes no sense because, well, I'm just doing whatever. So these don't even need to be the same size at all. Well, if you want to cook them evenly, they have to be the same size, but I mean, it doesn't matter. I assume these are going to break apart while I'm cooking them anyways because, yeah, no egg. But that's alright, that's alright. Like I said, these cooking shows are really low budget and it's hard to come up with the funds to get all the ingredients. I didn't even know what I was cooking today anyways, but that's alright. So we're just going to make these meatballs here. By the looks of them, they look like they're ready to fall apart, which we'll see what happens. But you can do this one of two ways. I'll show you both ways to do this. All right. Egg and bread. Okay, so don't squish the balls. All right, so we don't have very many meatballs, but that's enough. All right, I'm just gonna wash my hands. Let me just catch up on chat a little because I haven't been able to pay attention. Can I use beer instead? Well, you can. Well, the egg is just used as a binder, but you can put beer in there if you want to. Don't squish the balls. Too late for that. Yeah, the eggs can be mustard if you want. That is true. Yeah, they're all spice bombs. What's up, Kempachi? Thank you for being here, Kempachi. And Kyrie. Those meatballs. Oh, yeah! Alright, so we're going to put the spices away. Actually, I'll just put them aside. I don't feel like putting all that stuff away. Okay, so we can do this one of two ways. I'm going to do it the fun way. Stop it. Okay. Great balls of fire, yep. So I just have a pan here. I'll use this one. So what I'm gonna do, now you don't have to, this is for flavor and color, basically. This might not be the best idea because there's no binder besides the mustard in these meatballs. That Captain Falcon. Anyways, so there's no binder in these meatballs except for the mustard. But I'm going to sear them on both sides, so I'm going to put them down in a hot pan, so extra high heat, and I'm just going to sear them on both sides, so it'll add some nice caramelization and just flavor and crunchiness to the meatball, and then I'm going to roast them in the oven after that, just for like a couple minutes. So, a little bit of oil. Now, here we go. I'm going to click. Oh, yeah, it's fine. Everyone can lurk if they want to. It's completely fine. I do not care. So I'm going to go to switch scenes. Let's see if it lags or not. It works. My God. All right. Come on, camera. This low budget show. All right, perfect. Okay, so. All right, so we're just going to wait till that smokes. What's a binder? Just something that keeps everything bound together while you're cooking it and doesn't fall apart. And just something that keeps things together. It's like if you mix oil and vinegar, it'll be hard to mix unless you have a binder. You can mix it eventually, but a binder will just make it mix up immediately. Meatballs percent. Alright, so we're just waiting for this to get ultra hot. And then we go in for the record. Where you put all your Yu-Gi-Oh cards in. Yeah, Goten's got it. Cooking and gaming. Oh, yeah. So while that heats up, I'm going to grab the ingredients for the tomato sauce. Yeah. All the ingredients. Alright. So I'm praying that these don't fall apart. Okay, so now that our pan is smoking hot, we'll add our meatballs and just sear them on both sides. So like I said, let's hope that these don't fall apart in the pan because they're really good. But yes, I have soy sauce, yes. And I will be using, actually I won't be using soy sauce, but. Elephant garlic. So I'm just going to give them a small sear. Hey, they ain't sticking. Alright guys, you get the idea, so I'm going to switch my scene up. Hey, it isn't lagging, my god. Alright, so we have our stuff for our tomato sauce. I'm just going to oil this pan a little. Alright. So if I wanted to be really crazy, I could add this juice. I could add all that to the tomato sauce, but I'm not going to, I don't think. We'll see. So I'm just going to put these aside. Just because, I want to do that first just because my cooking shows, they're usually so short. So I'm doing everything out of order. Not to confuse anyone, but I mean, if you were to do what I'm doing now, you'll do everything at the same time, but start with the sauce. I'm ending with the sauce because I want to take my time. Usually I rush through things, and some people have messaged me and said, like, you're going too fast. I can't understand what you're doing. So I'm trying to slow this episode down a little. I know it's only spaghetti and meatballs, so it's like really simple, but still, at the same time, like I said, when I first started cooking, I couldn't even heat up onions in a pan. So, I mean, I'm going to take my time with this episode, and yeah. So I'm going to get a pan for the tomato sauce. I'm going to use one that's way too big because I don't have any medium-sized pans. So, just going to put that aside. I'm going to put the ingredients. Alright, so first we're going to start with green onion. Slow ride. Yeah, I wish I could play music. But you know what's good about watching these? You guys can play music at home if you want to. I think. Alright, so I'm just going to take off the gross looking parts. Like things that look really wilted, and just leave the good parts. You know, you don't need to be a professional to so I'm just going to trim off all those scraggly bits, and then we're left with this, so we'll take off any extra brown pieces. Yep. Alright, so we're going to toss this stuff. I know you can use this, but like I said, I wanted to make a fancy-ish one, and it's sort of, like, they're so old, it sort of would add bad flavor, but that's alright, So, just going to chop some green onion. Alright, so just going to cut this just however you want. I'm just slicing it on the side here. Nothing fancy at all. Alright. So we're going to save the green onion for the very end. Alright, so we'll put this aside. And now we'll cut up our red and white onion. So you can do this however you want. I'm just going to slice it. Hey. There we go. Alright, so we got our red onion. Now we'll do white onion. Here we go. And just discard the waste on top. Alright, so we have green onion, white onion, and red onion so far. Don't cry, yeah, I usually do cry when I do this stuff. Now we're gonna, I don't particularly, like, the one vegetable that I don't really enjoy too much is bell peppers, but in this case I'm gonna use them just because. Just cut the white part out. It's really awkward to cut half a bell pepper because usually I cut them whole. Alright, so you can just do this however. I'll just do strips. But you can do whatever you want. When you're making spaghetti, like, I don't think I need to tell you this, but you don't need to do anything particular. You just need to cut stuff, put it in. That's it. Alright. That variety, yeah. Okay, so now we can start this off, I guess. So I'm just going to switch scenes here. Let's hope it doesn't lag or break. Alright. I'm going to start with some oil again. Just a bit of oil. Alright, we're going to wait for that to heat up. I'm just going to crush up some garlic in the meantime, as you can see in the top corner there. Your name is absolutely beautiful. Alright, so alright, so I'm just going to do a few pieces of garlic here. Alright, this garlic's gone bad. I'm just going to use one piece of garlic because it's the only one that's good. Well, thanks for sticking around, guys. The Psycho Mantis. Yeah. Just gonna slice it. Alright, so we'll start off with the sauce. We don't need to wait till it gets screaming hot or anything. We'll just put in stuff. Boom. Yo! Okay. So now I'm going to get some sun-dried tomatoes. So I have sun-dried tomatoes right here. I'm just going to pull them out. I'm going to slice them up. Uh-oh. I'm all greasy. So these sun-dried tomatoes are going to add a lot of flavor. You don't need to put sun-dried tomato in this. I'm just using sun-dried tomato. So I'm just going to roughly chop the sun-dried tomato. Alright. And we're just going to add that right to the pan. And we're going to add some salt and pepper to this. We're going to add our peppers, our garlic. Alright, so now we're going to add our seasonings, which is Worcester sauce, if I can ever get it open. So we're just going to add some Worcester sauce and some brown sugar. So I'm just going to add some brown sugar. Come on, baby. Good enough. And some Worcester. So like I said before in previous episodes, Worcester and brown sugar are a really good mix, especially for tomato sauce. So we're just going to let that boil down for a few seconds. I'm also going to add some sriracha to balance out all the... So I put a lot of sugar in there, so I'm going to add something really, really spicy, which is sriracha. I didn't mean to add a lot of sugar, but that's alright. Okay, so now we're just going to add our tomatoes. So just to keep things easy, I'm using a pre-made tomato sauce because I know none of you are going to go home and make, well, I mean, I hate making tomato sauce. So I'm just using pre-made tomato sauce. We're going to stir that up. Oh, Grover's dumb. What's going on? Alright, so now we're going to put in our meatballs into the oven. So I just got the meatballs here. I'm just going to slam them right in the oven. And my oven's at 375 degrees, if anyone's wondering. Okay, so we're just going to bring the, I'm just bringing the tomato sauce up to a boil, and then we're going to bring it down to a simmer. And I'm going to add the last three ingredients I'm going to add right at the very end, which is this, what is this? Monterey Jack cheese, green onion, and I'm going to cut up these tomatoes. So I'm just going to cut those up right now. Nice, a 20-year-old chef from Istanbul. That's awesome. It's so awesome when other chefs come in here, let alone everyone who comes in here. But yes, I will tell you where I was working. Just 1 second. I'm just trying to take the tags off this tomato, and it's not cooperating. Alright, so I'm just going to use 2 tomatoes because I sort of want to have one left over for sandwiches or something later today, or whenever actually. Alright, so I'm just going to cut these. I'm just going to dice it because it's just going in right at the end just to add some freshness. So I sliced it, then I cut it in 4, and now I'm going to cut it again 3 times. There we go. It really doesn't matter. Now I'm going to take the ends here and also dice them. Just cut 3 times lengthwise, and then however many times that. There we go. And let's take the end pieces. Let's cut away the stem. Alright, so there we have our tomato, our green onion, and our cheese. Oh, Crawdingle, what's going on? Some spillage. Oh, yeah. Oh, where I'm working? I used to work at a buffet. Well, I used to work at an award-winning buffet, as in every single award known to this island, aka Prince Edward Island. When I was working there, we entered every single culinary competition on the island, and we came in first in every single solitary one. Well, every single one except for one, which we came second in, and that was just a seafood chowder competition. And so it was a very high quality restaurant. After that, I worked at a residence for old rich people who have nothing wrong with them. I don't know how to explain this. So, a residence for old rich people that are sick and tired of living at home and want to live in luxury, I guess. I guess that's how you'd explain it. And I worked there for about, from February till 2 weeks ago. From January till 2 weeks ago. And now I'm just, at the moment, because I'm about to move and I'm trying to really focus on Twitch. Because I love Twitch, I love the community. As you can see, the chat is super awesome. And yeah, I'm trying to put all my focus on Twitch, this cooking show, and speedrunning as well is what I do when I'm not doing this. So now the water's been in a boil for a while, so a lot of it went away. So I'm just going to add more water. Kitty Catra's coming over for supper. Oops. Oh yeah, now I know who you are. Yeah, I did. Oh, you are a Crawdingle? That would be so... Crawdingle? Yeah, you already know. If that was finished this week, I would lose my shit. Because it is literally the only thing that is bad in my... Well, yeah. But Crawdingle, when you finish that shit... Or when you finish that stuff, you are definitely coming over here and I will cook for you. Because I owe you an enormous meal. So awesome to see you do this. I'm a chef from Amsterdam and I have the same idea. Nice, that's awesome. Yeah, streaming cooking is a lot of fun. It is very sweet times. Thing stuff hype, yeah. Alright. So I'm just going to grate this cheese. Here, I just want a little bit. Well, actually... Yeah. Yeah, yeah. By little, I mean half the block. Well, I absolutely love cheese. I'm lactose intolerant, but that doesn't stop me from eating too much cheese and losing my mind. But I'm just going to grate this up. I always cut myself on cheese graters. Always. Alright. Good enough. Oh, are you kidding? Holy shit, Crawdingle, that's crazy. That is awesome. Alright guys, I'm just gonna go, I have an herb garden in my backyard. I'm just gonna go out back for just 1 second and I'm gonna get some herbs. Yeah, yeah, chops like a god, no way. Okay, I swear to God, this is sort of bad, but I mean, I don't need to right now. But I haven't sharpened this knife since the very first cooking episode. So, I mean, I should, but... Alright. So I'm just going to make a quick trip to the garden. The meatballs are almost done cooking, and then we can let them sit for a while, so I'll be right back. Oh my god. So I just grabbed parsley because parsley's a very underrated... Yeah, of course an RE player has the herb garden. Oh yeah. Parsley's a very underrated herb. It's used for mainly garnish, but it actually has some really nice flavor as well. So I'm going to use it for color and for flavor. And yes, it was my cat. Alright, so the meatballs should be done, so I'm just going to take those out. We'll see though. I have so few meatballs, this is saddening. So I'm going to cut one in half just to see the biggest one. It's right here. And yet they are perfectly cooked. There's a little bit of red inside, but since they're still hot right now and I just took them out of the oven, they're going to continue cooking because the heat is still in there, the heat's still on the outside, inside, and everything. So by the time I put them in the sauce, they'll be completely finished. So we're just going to put these aside. Well, the reason I quit the chef life for now is because my favorite thing to do in the culinary industry is to teach people how to cook. I love teaching people how to cook, and I love cooking for people, as in not in a restaurant style. One of the big things, and like this is just an opinion, but the restaurant industry, it is brutal. It's and I was expecting that once I graduated as well. But I've been able to do my own thing, which is good. But you can't expect any good money until way further down your career, like 10 years plus. Well, it depends. If you want to work every single day, all day, like 16-hour days, every day of the week, forever, then maybe you'll make some money sometime. But really, the only people that make money in this industry are the people that just never stop working. They go to work from the second they wake up to the second they go to bed, and then they continue to do that for the rest of their lives. And that's just not for me. I'd much rather teach people how to cook, which I have been doing. My culinary life is a long story, but I've done every spectrum. I've done catering. I still do catering. I've done cooking classes for kids and adults. I have worked in a high-class restaurant, and I've worked in a high-class buffet as well. So, and I've also worked in a fast food place. So I've seen every spectrum of a restaurant. I'm definitely not done with my chef life. I still count this as a chef's life. I'm teaching people how to cook. Well, hopefully you guys are all learning at least something from this. But yeah. If you guys are learning something, I am happy. So I'm just going to cut this parsley up. So I'm going to add all these things right at the end. And that should make for a really nice tomato sauce. Alright, good enough. Now that the pasta water is boiling, I'm going to add my pasta to the water. Yeah, I'll use this one. This is just regular spaghetti, you know, just regular smart spaghetti. So I'm not breaking it at all. I used to break my pasta, but I don't anymore. Just because, well, I was told not to. Well, it depends. You can break your pasta. It doesn't really matter, but in like Italy, apparently, if you break your pasta, it's just like, whoa, what the heck? So I'm going to add some olive oil to the water just because it helps with sticking. Ooh. Pasta. Yeah. Shop smart, shop S smart. Oh yeah, Evil Dead. Evil Dead. Oh wait, that's Army of Darkness. But still, Evil Dead. Evil Dead is like one of my favorite movies. It is amazing. Shop smart, shop S smart. Alright, so we're just waiting for this speedrunner chef, but I do speedrun cooking. I speedrun the nachos. I mean, that was fun. But yes, I do plan on speedrunning food eventually. Right now I do a cooking show, and I speedrun video games, and I mainly speedrun Resident Evil and survival horror games right now. Well, Resident Evil, Silent Hill, and Dino Crisis. But tonight is going to be, well, even though no one's going to be there probably, but tonight I'll be speedrunning Animal Crossing All Debts Paid, which is that's the top of the top when it comes to skill-based speedruns. Sarcasm, boys. Oh God. Oh Lordy, yeah. See, but you know what? I decided over the weekend that I can't keep subjecting myself to just settle for the same game over and over. I know I can take on more games for speedrunning. So I am going to take on more games. It doesn't mean I'm done with anything. The more games I add will just be the longer I stream, not like the less you see a certain game or the more you see other game. But as you all know, if I get really close to a world record, I'll probably grind out for it. So it just depends. But yeah. But cooking wise, yes, I love doing the show. I want to do more cooking shows. This is super low quality compared to what I want it to be. I have a donation animation that's amazing. That's a start to this channel. But I'm just waiting. Well, Crawdingle's going to be coding that into the stream this week, I think. So then by the end of the week, you can expect a donation animation for this stream and a donation animation for my speedrunning stream, which will be awesome. Don't grind us of practice runs, yeah. All right, so this should be almost done now. So we're just running on the last few minutes here. I don't want to add my stuff too early. I'm going to break a lot of these meatballs in half. Just because they're pretty big. But you guys seen, I made the meatball, so I'm just going to break these in half just so I have more. Just so I have more. And it's not all huge meatballs. There. You know, if I were to serve this in a fancy restaurant, I would do the meatballs smaller and more. So like really small meatballs. But it depends. Oh, yeah, I played Illbleed Crawdingle. It was, well, I played it with Fetus Babe, and we just dicked around with it for like 20 minutes, and we didn't understand what was going on. I couldn't grasp it at all. But yeah, I seen you were playing Shenmue, and that game is amazing. The voice acting is so funny at some parts. All right, so we'll see if the pass is done-ish. So the pasta is al dente right now, or al dente, which just means it has a little bit of a bite to it. So I'm going to drain that off. Actually, I'm just going to let it cook a teensy bit more. So I could add the parsley to the tomato sauce, or I could add like, well, I'll show you guys something. I'm going to add, my beard is al dente. Yeah, making your own pasta is amazing, Kagito. You gotta serve it on a speed run. Since the St. Jude stream? Oh man. Alright. So I'm gonna drain this pasta in a second here. Okay, so we're going to add all of our stuff to the tomato sauce. Made some spillies back there. Alright. If I had some light. Here we go. So I'm just going to add everything to this. Youch. There we go. So there's our tomato sauce. And like I said, I could add all the oil and stuff from sautéing the vegetables or the meatballs, sorry, but I'm not gonna. But if you really wanted to go that extra American edge, then you do that. All right. High quality cooking show. Oh, whoops. Ow. Alright, so I'm just going to add some butter to this. Classically add butter to this spaghetti here. Uh-oh, I forgot to get some garnish. Oh, crap. Oh, and there's one last thing I'm going to add to the pasta, which is spinach. I forgot. I mean, the tomato sauce. I forgot to add the spinach, but it's in there now. And I was going to add it now anyway, so it's not a big deal. It'll shrivel up by the time I serve this. There we go. I am a chef, magnetic freeze. Magnetic freeze. Okay, so just before I serve this up, I'm just gonna get some garnish. Harry, scram, Harry. So I'm just gonna get some garnish. I'll be right back because, like most of you know, I gotta go to my herb garden really quick because I cannot plate anything without a garnish. So I'll be right back really quick. All right, Harry, let's get the hell out of here. My God. Alright. So I'll do this really quick. So this is just a simple, like I said, fancy-ish. This could be much fancier. Thing of spaghetti. There we go. So that's it. There is your fancy-ish spaghetti dish. There we go. And hopefully people learnt the cheese is already in there, yeah. So hopefully people learnt something new. That garnish is the top of a basil plant and flat leaf parsley. So now we gotta do the cliche, take a shitty ass mainstream Instagram pic. Here we go. You guys ready for this? If you miss any cooking shows, I put some of my stuff